7 of the 11 secessionist states had been readmitted to the Union. The South was still in ruins economically, and whites were waging a war against newly freed slaves.
A lot of former slaveholders formed the KKK, threatening African Americans to put them back in their place after the abolition of slavery.
It's not a declared war, but it's a war in the villages and fields to prevent black people from voting. The Klan blow up churches, burn down schoolhouses, go after blacks who have done the criminal act of becoming landowners.
The white South showed far more commitment, far more will to promoting white supremacy than it did to Confederate independence.
The Klan had free reign over much of the South. By 1870, the number of federal troops stationed there had dropped from 20,000 to 6,600. Not nearly enough to protect freed blacks who were spread out over 1 million square miles below the Mason-Dixon line.
It becomes a very messy transition. It's akin to a long-out guerrilla war in which white supremacist terrorists do all they can to regain power in the American South.
When violence against African Americans takes place to prevent them from voting, Congress responds by passing a Force Act, an authorization of force against domestic terrorists.
As George Bush did after 9/11, Grant asked for the executive power to suspend the constitutional rights of suspected terrorists. Over 100 key Klan leaders were arrested, and a surge of federal troops dispersed the rest.
By the early 1870s, the Klan had been largely scattered to the four corners. And the Klan, in fact, did not emerge again until the 20th century. So in that respect, Grant's policies and actions was successful. Grant's election became almost automatic.
African Americans wanted to show that they were citizens of this country. And under Grant, now they have a place where they can go exercise their manhood and their citizenship rights by voting.